I'm going to reveal something that will rock the internet like never before, so hold on to your seats. Consider this. Everyone has been clamoring to see the autopsy report. Yes, it has officially leaked, the one that might eventually reveal Tude's true fate. And you know what? It's explosive in addition to shocking. We are discussing accusations that have the potential to ruin reputations, ruin careers, and cause social media to collapse in an instant. The worst part is about to come. Kirk. Indeed, Kirk. It's possible that the individual about whom some people have been whispering in private had more than a role in this catastrophe. He went above and beyond, according to some reports, to conceal the facts, payments to certain doctors, hush arrangements, and encouraging words. Currently, the Globe may view the report that was never intended for public consumption. What actually happened that evening then? Who is being honest? And who's smiling for the camera while playing everyone for fools? Be sure to stay tuned as we reveal secrets that will cause you to laugh, gasp, and perhaps even challenge all of your preconceived notions about this case. This goes beyond news. The disclosure is a full-fledged, high-stakes controversy, and you will want to witness every startling detail. Okay, fasten your seatbelts because this is where chaos, mess, and deliciousness come into play. Scandalous. Don't assume that the T-Hood case was just another news story. We're going to go into a story that is so complex, so full of backroom transactions and secrets, that it would make a Hollywood thriller seem easy. And Kirk himself, they're in the middle of this tempest. Yes, that Kirk, the one about whom rumors have circulated for months. The man who, it seems, does more than simply play the game. Whenever it suits him, he changes the rules. The violent incident in which Thud was involved has garnered thousands of online attention. However, this is where it becomes fiery. The actual autopsy report was kept secret from the public for months. Isn't it convenient? It's standard procedure according to some. Nah, others murmur. Someone's got hands in the wrong pockets. And guess what? The study, which was just leaked, is very explosive. Throw aside the story we've been fed. According to this recently made public document, the information within is far more ruthless, much darker, and much more exposing of the true manipulators. Who are the participants in this scenario then? First, Tude, who many see as both a fighter and a victim. Then there's the family, sifting through a labyrinth of secrets and false information in an unrelenting quest to find the truth. And lastly, the wildcard Kirk, who allegedly orchestrated delays in the publication of the autopsy and funneled money to keep things quiet in the hopes that no one would ever view the actual narrative. Drama at its height, folks. This isn't your typical feud in the neighborhood. This is a multi-layered scandal. There were rumors going around before the autopsy leak. From a cover to a full-fledged conspiracy, social media detectives, the same people who say they have inside information, were making all kinds of speculations. Not to mention the purported hostility between Tude's entourage and Kirk. Naturally, some trustworthy sources who want to remain nameless said that Kirk was doing all in his power to prevent the autopsy from ever being published. Favors, payments, and perhaps even threats if you believe this to be solely a matter of medical documentation. Rethink your thought. Picture the scene. T-Hood, who was already under stress, allegedly experienced violence. The report that was leaked presents a clear picture. Violence at first, efforts to control him, and then the turning point. There was a gunshot. Here's the twist though. According to the investigation, T-Hood wasn't merely a helpless victim. He apparently retaliated in an attempt to protect himself. Indeed, that's when things become hazy because of the story that the media has been feeding you. Just half the truth. The public's response was wild. Twitter blew up as soon as the information was made public. People raveled in front of us and termed it a cover-up. According to unnamed sources, he was influential everywhere. He has been whispering for months, and money speaks. If people actually saw the report, suggested another. The truth is unpleasant, messy, and implicates more than one person. And let's talk money. Heads would roll before it became viral. Kirk allegedly paid out more than one word to folks. This was a network of influence, not a network. Physicians, officials, and even lower-level officials use nudges to control the narrative, delay it, and reroute it. Expensive dinners, lavish benefits, exchanges of envelopes, and a self-defense case that was allegedly influenced behind closed doors by someone with the power to change timelines. The best Netflix content. Tood's protective tactics are revealed by the autopsy were genuine. He was pushed into a corner and fought for his life as purported puppeteers attempted to control the story. The sentiment on social media surged. The truth at last. One tweet was read, "One more. If Kirk had been involved, justice must be done." Some made jokes about T-Hood being the ultimate underdog, and memes were all over the place. Others conjectured about hush money and covert encounters. The leak happened at a suspiciously ideal moment. The case became cold a few weeks later. The autopsy comes to light as rumors about delayed reports are at their height. Is it a coincidence? Perhaps. Or perhaps someone made the decision that the world needed to know what had actually occurred. Comment sections become forums for debate. Influencers examined, analyzed, and yes, exaggerated every aspect as forums erupted. Let's enjoy the ridiculousness. T-Hood's family is fighting to expose the truth in a self-defense case that was allegedly distorted by someone in charge of information control. Every fresh leak, comment, and speculative tweet adds gasoline to the fire of drama, manipulation, and power moves. T-Hood's defensive actions are documented in the report. He had to react after being cornered, as the purported masterminds attempted to steer the story. The stunner comes next. The chronology that no one anticipated is revealed by the autopsy. The first attack, the struggle, the defensive move, and finally the end. Additionally, behind all of this purported bribery, influence, and this tale is taking over every platform in existence because of power struggles, violence, cover-ups, and the revelation of the truth. This is where it becomes even more interesting. The paper that was leaked claims that before to the shooting incident, Tood was allegedly attacked, hit, restrained, and even strangled. He had no choice but to take defensive action. The report accuses outside parties of trying to control the course of events. However, Tood's response demonstrates fortitude, bravery, and self-preservation. The leaked document is more than just a narrative. It reveals a chain of deceit, coordinated influence, and Kirk's alleged bribery. Naturally, public indignation is also growing. Debating, speculating, and demanding responsibility are all happening among fans, followers, and regular people. Who is the real mastermind? Who is in the stand? Underlying the purported bribes? The most crucial question is probably how extensive this manipulation is. Speculation abounds in social media threads. This goes beyond T-Hood. One person remarked, "It's about corruption at every level." Furthermore, Kirk might have crossed boundaries we can't even fathom if the leaked claim is true. Furthermore, Kirk's purported actions are still unknown despite debate. Payments, pressure, and influence are purportedly all forms of control. Tood's family is fighting for justice, openness, and the release of the truth in the meantime. Some of the rumors are confirmed by the autopsy, which is now public. The series of events demonstrates the Hood's protective actions as well as his hostility. Suddenly, the claims of hush money don't seem so implausible. Here's the worst part though. Violence isn't the only issue here. Control is at issue here. The leaked autopsy demonstrates how perception is impacted by power relations, how influence may change timelines, and how information can be altered. And the internet doesn't miss a beat when it comes to going viral. The plot is kept alive by threads, memes, and contentious discussions, which increase suspense, conjecture, and sure, millions of people's entertainment. The plot develops as a sequence of dramas, conflicts, conspiracies, and revelations. After being presented as a helpless victim at first, T-Hood proves to be a resilient character. Kirk Payments is accused of manipulating, influencing, and attempting to modify an image. The story before the truth was revealed to the world. The game has also modified since the autopsy was leaked. The truth is combustible, contentious, and nasty. Will justice be done at last? Will Kirk be held responsible if the accusations are confirmed? And what about T-Hood's family? Will they receive answers? Following months of concealment, the leaked report sparks a flurry of public curiosity, indignation, and conjecture, in addition to providing answers. And one thing is evident as the internet erupts with responses. This goes beyond a simple case. Conversations about this scandal, drama, and tale of purported corruption, tenacity, and manipulation will be dominated for weeks. We can learn more from the leaked autopsy than just what transpired. It demonstrates how readily influence can skew events, how power may pervert the truth, and how the pursuit of justice by one family might reveal hidden forces. The scene is thus established: Kirk's purported attempts to manipulate the story, Thud's protective behavior, and the startling autopsy findings. The internet is constantly speculating, the public is humming, and the media is ablaze. The fire is fueled by each fresh information, each leak reveals more mystery. And there is still one question when we delve more. What is the rabbit hole's depth? Really? Proceed. And I promise that you will want to stay tuned as we dissect every bombshell accusation, leak detail, and public response that has caused this story to grow into one of the year's most dramatic scandals in the upcoming portions. Okay, so after setting the scene, let's delve even more into the mayhem, the rumors, and the purported secrets that Kirk allegedly attempted to conceal. You should wait to hear what the autopsy actually showed and how others are saying Kirk may have twisted everything behind the scenes. If you found the first part upsetting, honey, let's start by discussing the order of events. As stated, Tude wasn't merely a spectator in a random domestic incident, according to the released autopsy report. No, the report describes a violent altercation in which Tude is said to have been attacked first. According to some accounts, he was hit, restrained, and even strangled before to the tragic event. And this is the thing, he had to take protective measures because they were required, not just instinctive. The autopsy indicates that he was besieged and had to defend himself. Additionally, others claim that Kirk had a stake in concealing the facts throughout this time. Yes, you heard correctly. Kirk is accused of being a puppet master. From behind the curtain, he allegedly funneled money to guarantee certain physicians and bureaucrats delayed the release of the autopsy report, according to anonymous sources, who, of course, are not going on record because, well, who wants a lawsuit? Consider hush money, kind recommendations, and perhaps even some slipped luxury benefits beneath the table. Let's just say Kirk made sure the right people were comfortable enough to keep quiet until the timing was perfect. Why all the secrecy? According to a source who wished to remain anonymous but said they were close to the medical team. The details aren't pretty. If you look at the report, it depicts the actual shooting as well as a struggle and a defensive battle, but it also draws attention to what some are calling dubious influences on the timeline's presentation. Yes, exactly. Parts of the story you've heard are confirmed by the autopsy, but there's still one big question. Before this leak, who was planning the story? And Kirk is blamed for every hint. Well, the internet hasn't held back. So let's focus on public response. Social media was in disarray once the autopsy was leaked. People were taken aback, furious, and to be honest, amused. Kirk really believed he could buy silence. No, the truth always leaks. Read one of the most shared tweets. If the autopsy is correct, this isn't simply he defending himself, said another. Overnight, a masterclass in corruption was revealed, and speculation about Kirk's alleged payments, influence, and manipulation took over the internet. According to some reports, the network Kirk allegedly used was not small, and we're talking about doctors, bureaucrats, and possibly even the leaked report, which is currently in the hands of Tude's family, reveals not only the attack sequence but also the ridiculousness of a system purportedly influenced by money and power. Minor law enforcement players were all allegedly pushed, bought off, or convinced to postpone the autopsy and manipulate the public's perception of events. Let's examine the actual events as the report purports to show. Although Kirk has not publicly responded, the rumors, screenshots, and anonymous testimonies paint a picture of someone who clearly underestimated the leak but believed they could stay several steps ahead. First, Tude was allegedly confronted aggressively, shoved, hit, and restrained. He defended himself during the battle, which ultimately led to his death. The shocking part is that the stolen documents show that the rounds were fired after Tude had no other option. Financial ramifications. According to some insiders, Kirk allegedly spent a small fortune concealing the autopsy report, despite his self-defense claim. This is suspicious because Kirk allegedly tried to control the narrative and ensured the report was hidden for months. Imagine the audacity. T. Hood's life was on the line, and behind closed doors, money and influence allegedly determined what the public could know and when. The money was allegedly used to influence certain medical staff, speed up bureaucracy, and even advise investigators on when to release information. Fans, activists, and casual online detectives are all demanding answers, and the public's reaction has been unrelenting. It's bold, outrageous, and of course, the kind of drama that makes social media go crazy. According to one Twitter user, Kirk apparently attempted to conceal the autopsy, but it has already been made public. The receipts are authentic. I demand justice now that the truth is out. Heads should roll if these leaks are true, said another. Bribery, manipulation, and a near cover-up of a defensive act are all on the table. Startling, every syllable of the leaked report is being examined by others, who are then discussing what it suggests about Kirk's behavior and making predictions about possible outcomes. To be honest, some of the fan theories are more outrageous than the actual occurrences. However, that is precisely what causes things to go viral. Another level of mystery is added by the timing of the release. Why now? Why? Following months of quiet, was the family retaliating at last? Or did someone in the system become weary of remaining silent? The public release of the report dispelled the myth that for weeks, media outlets had been operating. And all of a sudden, Kirk, who is said to have planned this silence, finds himself at the center of yet another controversy, this one inevitable. However, it doesn't end there. There is more to this story than self-defense, according to alleged insider information. Systemic control is at issue. Kirk allegedly controlled who could comment, who could view the report, and even who could publicly interpret the results. Even though none of this has been officially verified, the story is difficult to ignore given the stolen documents and the public's responses. Kirk might have been the person attempting to control the news from someplace. Tood's family has taken matters into their own hands in the meanwhile. They allegedly acquired the original report and made it public after months of waiting and interrogation. The result was chaos, outrage, incredulity, and a deluge of viral threads erupted on social media. People referred to it as the cover-up being uncovered and the truth finally coming to light. Fans are analyzing Kirk's apparent involvement in real time, discussing whether this was a more serious sequence of manipulations or just a desperate attempt to control information. Not to be overlooked is the psychological component. Kirk is accused of planning a covert influence campaign against T. Hood, who is cornered yet unflappable. The public is fascinated by this difference. It's not merely a violent tale. Power, manipulation, and the conflict between control and truth are all themes in this tale. The Autopsy leak, the investigation, demonstrates not just that Tood defended himself, but also that there were purportedly genuine and continuous attempts to conceal information and manipulate public opinion. Public opinion is exploding as the internet continues to analyze the leaked study. Accountability-related hashtags are popular. Threads on Twitter that analyze the timeline are becoming widely shared. Anonymous sources are still raising the possibility of Kirk facing legal repercussions, from civil scrutiny to ethical inquiries. Furthermore, the significance of the leak itself cannot be emphasized, even though official channels have remained silent. This is the type of shocking discovery that generates headlines. Cycles spin more quickly than anyone can follow. Here's the icing on the cake for drama buffs. According to some, Kirk may have overestimated Tood's tenacity because he believed the story was completely under control. It's possible that he didn't expect the family to act and release the original autopsy reports on their own. The end effect is a public spectacle in which every accusation, rumor, and secret information abruptly makes it to the top page of social media news. As the claimed orchestrator navigates a PR nightmare, the world observes, discusses, and responds. In real time, this story is more than just the events of that evening. It concerns who shaped the narrative, who controlled the tale, and how far some people will go to conceal the truth. The autopsy report, which is now available to the public, supports Tood's defensive behavior, reveals the purported cover-up, and links Kirk to a complex web of power struggles, suspected bribes, and secrecy. Social media is more than just leaving comments. It's examining every action, every motivation, and every possible consequence. The portion that keeps everyone riveted is right here. Lawyers, amateur investigators, and regular viewers are discussing possible repercussions. Could there be investigations, lawsuits, or resignations? The possibilities are endless, ranging from ethics inquiries to public outrage. Hypothetical probes are already being debated in comment sections, with many people stating, if this is true, the ramifications are massive. The internet has also arrived. Doso for every moment of it. it's evident that Thud's narrative is more complex than a single violent episode. As we process these dramatic releases, it concerns power struggles between the truth and those who seek to conceal it, as well as manipulation, purported bribery, and institutional influence. The smoking gun, the evidence that openness cannot always be prevented and that the internet never forgets, is the leaked autopsy report. The story is far from ended, as Kirk is supposedly at the center of this staged stillness. And now, the fallout. Well, sweetheart, this is where the story gets more juicy. The fallout is instantaneous, chaotic, and dramatic as the autopsy report is eventually released and Hood's family goes public. The internet is ablaze. Hashtags are popular right now. People are calling for responsibility. Furthermore, naturally, Kirk, the purported mastermind behind months of concealment, is forced to deal with the spotlight. Not only does the leaked autopsy show the order of events, it revealed the alleged hush payments, the power struggles, and the covert